Welcome students. In the previous lectures, we have completed the process of manufacturing sugar from the sugar cane in the sugar industry. Now this industry gives byproducts. Let us see in the today's lecture what are the byproducts of the sugar industry. Now the first byproduct of sugar industry is agricultural waste. When sugar canes are cut into the field, the top portion which is removed is the first byproduct of the industry, and this product is used as a cattle feed, and when the leaves are kept for drying in the field, it is converted into manure, and thus the fertilizer is formed, that is a biocompost, and which enriches the quality of the soil, and therefore this byproduct is also important byproduct. The second one is major byproduct bagasse, which is also called as a spent cane, which is obtained after the last meal, that is extraction of complete juice from the cane. The remaining part is known as a bagasse. It is also used. We will see the uses in the next. First we will see what are the byproducts. The third byproduct is filter cake, that is a mud which is obtained in the settling tanks when the juice is taken for settling, that is coagulated material settles down, and this filter cake is settles at the bottom, which is press dried, and it is useful byproducts of the industry. And the final byproduct is molasses. It is the one of the major byproduct. The uses of molasses we will see one by one. This is the bagasse, that is a dry pulpy fibrous material that is remaining after crushing the sugar cane to extract the juice. This is a bagasse yard, it is stored in the bagasse yard. This is the molasses, that is a thick dark brown. You have studied this in the refining process. This is a press mud, it is a residue of filtration of sugar juice that collects at the bottom. Now let us see the uses of these byproducts. The first one is, I have told the use of top portions as a cattle feed and as a biomass, that is a fertilizer. The major byproduct is a bagasse. It is used for several purposes. It is used for boilers as a fuel. Also used for the production of numerous papers, that is used in the paper mill by preparing a pulp, and the production of paper board products and the reconstituted panel boards. And therefore some sugar industries are doing the panels from the byproduct bagasse. The bagasse is important raw material for the production of chemicals. And finally bagasse and its residue are used as fuel source for boilers in the generation of steam. Now what happens in the shortage of raw material for burning in the boilers of the sugar factory? This bagasse and its residue are used as a fuel, and thus bagasse is renewable source. Therefore, this is an important byproduct of the industry. Now, you can observe this when paper, newspaper contains some particles of bagasse, that is newspapers are formed. Paper industry also runs on this byproduct. The next byproduct is press mud. It is a dried filter cake. Of course, it is used as a cattle feed supplement, fertilizer, and the sources of sugarcane wax. This is also an important. Therefore, this press mud is delivered to the preparation of fertilizer. It is delivered from the factory as animal feed and as a source of sugarcane wax. Another byproduct is molasses. It is also important byproducts of sugar industry. The molasses is of two types. The first type is edible for humans. That is, the molasses can be used as a food. That is, the lighter grades of molasses made from sugarcane are edible syrup and are used in the baking purposes, candy making, that is a chocolate making, as a sugar substitute and as a healthy supplement. Therefore, these are the biscuits made of sugar substitute, that is a lighter grade molasses, and therefore this variety of molasses is known as edible variety of molasses for human being. The next variety is inedible, that is a non-edible variety of molasses for human being. This variety is used for number of purposes. This is a low grade of cane molasses used in the mixed animal feed, and the major use is the industry, that is a fermentation industry, that is a production of vinegar, production of citric acid, and production of ethanol from molasses, and therefore this byproduct is important byproduct of sugar industry, and other products are also obtained from this molasses. Thus, we have seen the byproducts of sugar industry. Students, by heart these byproducts. Now, the sugar industry produces some waste, and it must be cleared, or the impurities from the waste must be cleared before sending to the fields or into the potable purpose. Okay, let us see what are the waste produced in the sugar industry. Okay, and therefore industrial wastewater, the first waste is water. Sugar industry requires much water for the process, and therefore water for spraying on the bagasse, that is for the removal of last traces of the juice in the mill house, to remove the juice from the mill house, and for boiling purpose. Okay, and thus much water is used in the sugar industry, and after using it becomes contaminated, and therefore it is called as a waste water. What are the sources of wastewater? The wastewater from mill house includes The water used as a splashes to extract the maximum amount of juice. Okay. The wastewater contains high biological oxygen demand due to the presence of sugar and oil and grease from the machineries, because it is come from the machineries of the industry, and therefore the oil and grease constituents are also found in this wastewater. Okay. And the wastewater occasionally washing of filler clothes also contains high BOD. Okay. The wastewater used for cooling in evaporator also contributes as a wastewater. This is another source of wastewater. The first was from milling house and wastewater from evaporator. The cooling water gets polluted as it picks up some organic substance from the vapors of boiling syrup, because it removed from the juice, and therefore it picks up some organic substances in the evaporators, also in the vacuum pump. Okay, although this water is recycled, it required to be discharged. Sometimes this water is required to be discharged. This contributes the considerable volume of waste and the moderate BOD. Okay, and therefore this should be treated. Additional waste originates due to the leakages and spills of the juice, syrup and molasses in different sections, and also during the handling of molasses. Okay, and therefore this wastewater should be also treated. Okay, this is the characteristic of the combined wastewater. What is the pH? It is between 4.6 to 7.1. What is the percent of COD, BOD? Okay. Now what are the effects? The sugar mill effluent, that is the wastewater, decompose the rapid after few hours stagnation. Rapid depletion of DO followed by anaerobic stabilization of waste causes secondary pollution of offensive odor, black color and fish motif. Therefore, there is a offensive odor, that is a dislikable odor is produced. And as sugar industries are usually situated in the rural areas, no sewage are available for discharge. Now how the wastewater from the sugar industry is treated, and therefore the point treatment of waste. Now mill house waste, that is the water, is clean and it is greasy trap, and again it is taken for anaerobic contact process, that is USB reactor anaerobic filter. It is a filter, again screen, that is by screening other waste is removed, and after anaerobic filter the waste stabilization pond it is stored. I will show the diagram of pond. Okay, and the influence also collected. This is a treatment, again COD BOD ratio makes it biodegradable wastewater. The ratio approximately 1.6 to 2. Okay, the conventional aerobic treatment, that is passing of air, are not too efficient ever at low organic loading rate. Now, due to seasonal nature of waste, conventional treatment may not be economical, because this wastewater is produced in the season of crushing, and therefore the treatment is also seasonal. Okay, and thus anaerobic treatment, that is a dilatation lagoon, can give greater than 70% to 90% efficiency. The effluent from the anaerobic treatment can be treated by stabilization pond, that is, water is sent to the stabilization pond. Now the two-stage biological treatment are common and overall BOD percentage is greater than 90% and can be removed. And this USB reactor followed by waste stabilization pond is also effective. That is, now students, you have heard that is some waste from the sugar industry is directly thrown to the water source resources and water get polluted. Some fishes from the water are died and therefore this should be avoided. This is a treatment, yes, we have seen again. Treatment of waste. There are number of treatment. Pollution load in sugar mills can be reduced. Pollution loads are prepared or situated in the sugar mill can reduce the better water and material economy in the plant. Okay. Recycling of the will reduce, that is recycling of the water, reduce the volume of waste to great extent, therefore water should be reclaimed. Okay. And the dry floor cleaning and reducing quantity of floor wash water can be reduced the volume of waste. And therefore these are some treatments for waste. Proper control of operation can reduce the pollution load. For example, overloading of evaporation and vacuum fans. Extensive boiling, that is, don't overload the evaporators and vacuum fans. Then extension of boiling the syrup leads to the loss of sugar. That is, don't boil the syrup to the more extent. Otherwise, it will affect the loss of sugar through the condensation of water and thus increase in the volume and strength of the liquid. Okay. This is a spray pond of water. Here, number of sugar factories are doing this process. Here, the water is sprayed, hot water is sprayed for, this is a hot water spray for cooling purposes. And thus water is purified. Okay. And thus these are the treatment of wastewater. Now with this I conclude my lecture. Thank you.